Yung kampo ay taga-tumangga sa Secretary Tribute sa General Manuel del Campo. Ang mga Del Campo, malaking pamilya doon sa amin sa Tumangas. Mga mayayaman ng mga Del Campo sa Tumangas. At andito din, matagal ko na rin ginagalang na Juez de Concilio. The hanging judge, dalawa sila noong mga panahon na yun. Isa si Judge Villaluz. Ginagalang ng lahat at naging katibayan ko, Justice Manuel Pamaran, ang presidente ng inyong organisasyon. At patagal kasama sa Red Cross, ang inyong direktor mula sa Laguna, Eduardo Manas. Kasama kami sa kanina nabati ko na si Commander Orestes Lopez at pinabati ko din ang mabuting anak ng ating Congressman Prisco San Juan, the Vice Governor of Rizal, Prisco San Juan Jr. At iba pa po. Alam nyo, yung pangalang Hunters ROTC Guerrillas, yung pangalang Miguel Ber, Mike Ber, high school pa ako, alam ko na yan. Ewan ko kung ano yung mga pagkakataon na yun. Nagkaroon ako ng isang comics tungkol sa Hunters ROTC. I do not remember now whether this was a comics that was distributed during a political campaign. Palagay ko, yun yung panahon na tumatakbo si Terry Pagtanggol Adeboso at binabati ko si Jerry Ferrer Adeboso. I don't remember. But what I remember was that it was in comics form. Nakadrawing yung exploits ng Hunters ROTC. At kung binabasa ko ito, talagang pumapasok sa puso ko yung mensahe. The message of heroism, valor, at yung pangalang Miguel Ber, yung nakadrawing pa doon kung paano siya nabaril. Nakadrawing kung paano siya tinamaan, unang casualty ng encounter na yun. Yun ang unang Ber na nakilala ko. At ako'y nagkaroon ng classmate na nung pumasok ko ng PLA, si Irwin Ber, anak ni, ngayon ni kilalang kilala na, General Fabian Ber. When he became my classmate, Fabian Ber was not yet very well known then. This was in April 1966 when I entered the Philippine Military Academy, Caprisco. Mayor din po, Caprisco. Yun din lang ako kay Irwin. Sabi ko, Irwin, kamag-anak ko ba yung Mike Ber, yung Miguel Ber, na nabasa ko sa Hunters ROTC? And of course, he talked about a distant relationship. And of course, he was very proud that I remembered someone ng pangalan ni Ber. Kaya ito, sa Ingles, naging indelible sa aking pag-iisip, sa aking memory. Hindi ko makalimutan. Pag magparinig ko yung pangalan Miguel Ber ng panahon na yun, I would associate him with valor, with heroism, with making the supreme sacrifice. Kaya talagang napakalaki ng legacy ng isang taong iginagalang natin ngayon. 68th anniversary of Mike Ber. Nakita ko yung kanyang napakagandang lalaki. Naka-uniforme, ang tawag niyan, yung full dress uniform ng Philippine Military Academy na halos hindi na iba sa full dress uniform na ginagamit ng PLA ngayon, magamat pre-war, yung uniform na yan. Isipin nyo, namatay siya July 4, 1942. Bumagsak ang Bataan April 9, 1942. Sumurrender ang Corregidor, I don't know the exact date, but it was in May 1942. Sumurrender ang buong U.S. Armed Forces in the Far East noong May 1942. Namatay siya July 4, halos 2 buwan lamang ang dumaan. Ganun, naging kabilis ang buhay ng isang tao na nagtatag ng isa sa mga pinaka-iginagalang na institusyon sa Pilipinas sa nakaraang Second World War. Alam mo, tinitingnan ko kayo mga veterano. Looking at you now, of course, you're now in your late 80s. Some may be in their early, si Kapaswal yata, mga 91 na. At ano ko, 90. Isipin nyo, 90. Pero, lalakad pa rin. But I'm trying to visualize how you were during those times, starting in June, July 1942, up to the end of the war. Mga matitikas pa kayo. Many of you were maybe 19, 20, 21 years old in the early 20s, which was not rare in the history of the country, sapagkat during the 1896 revolution, up to the time of the Philippine-American War, marami rin tayo mga kabataan noon. Emilio Jacinto, for example, joined the Katipunan at the age of 18. General Gregorio del Pilar died at the age of 23, almost the same age as Miguel Bell. Kaya tinitingnan ko kayo, siguro matitikas pa kayo noon, makikisig, malalakas, bagamat kulang sa pagkain, kulang sa mga conveniences of life, nasa bundok kayo. When Antipolo at that time was part of the wilderness, in fact, Parañaque, many parts of Parañaque, yung lugar na tinitirhan ko ngayon, sa Bay of Hopes, Parañaque, bukid pa yan. Siguro, kung sinasabi nyo nagtatago kayo sa Parañaque, maybe you are hiding in some of the wooded areas that are now known as subdivisions of Parañaque, like Bed and Living, Woodwalk, my own subdivision, BF. Tayo mga medyo bata, lalo na yung mas bata, nagpapaypay kayo, mainit. Pinapawisan ako, may mainit. Nagreklamo tayo sa mga minsan yung working conditions natin. But I can imagine the kind of working conditions you had during those times in the fastnesses of Sierra Madre in Antipolo, which, by the way, siguro alam niyo, hanggang ngayon, doon sa Antipolo area, meron pa rin mga guerrilla doon. But we're talking with insurgent guerrillas. Talagang maganda yung napili yung lugar na tinataguan kasi hanggang ngayon nagagamit pa rin ng mga modern guerrillas of the Philippines. Malamok, yung malaria, gutom, at marami pang mga istorya. You know, I read a book a few years ago, The Bataan Diary, the story of an American, Frank Lloyd, who became a guerrilla of sorts, but in the Bataan, Zambales, Pampanga area, and he described the kind of life that he had. I'm very sure, ganun din